Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Paula, and you're joined by Team Dragonflies, the Dragonfly Voyagers, the award-winning travel community. And we're going to have a chat about travel and our travel club. If you have any questions and you're watching this on replay, please go back to the person that shared it with you. And if you've got any questions while you're watching, please let us know in the chat. I'm going to share my screen and we'll go through some information with you. Let me see if this works. I'm hoping it will. So I've updated a few things on here. Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yeah.
We are award-winning. Congratulations, everyone. I updated this slide literally just a moment ago. We're an award-winning community and we have access to a travel platform that changes lives in a nutshell. And I'm going to share some of that with you. Now, this is actually a picture of some of our wider community. We're in 70 countries across the world. And we often meet up with people all around the world to connect, to build relationships, to learn, and to have a bloody good time. So I'm going to give you an overview of all of that and tell you a little bit more about how that works. But there's something that I want to talk about first of all that's really, really important because I believe the industry, the travel industry, is selling you a lie. And you're going to want to watch this to find out what that lie is because we're uncovering all the truth when it comes to travel. Now, when it comes to booking your holiday, it's likely that you have been taught that travel is really expensive. And the first thing when I speak to people about travel and ask why they're not traveling more often is because they can't afford it. But I want to tell you tonight that you're not seeing the full picture online. I'm going to explain why in a moment. And when you have awareness of what you're not seeing and you get that full picture, it actually changes what's possible for you. We have a smarter way to travel and we are not afraid to share it. Now, we are conditioned to think in certain ways. You watch the TV, there are adverts on there. Marketing is very, very clever in the way it affects your psychology. And you are funneled into believing certain things about certain topics, such as travel. We're conditioned to believe that flights are expensive, but people can fly cheaper than a meal out with your family. And we've done it. It's not just a guess, it's not pulling something from thin air, it's actually happening every single day. We're conditioned to believe that travel is a luxury, but we finance everything else, such as subscriptions, such as going to the gym. We will, as a team, explain to you more about the fact that we don't think it's a luxury. It's actually a necessity for our mental health and well-being. A little bit more about that later. You need to have savings somewhere. Now, we don't have payment plans as such. However, when I explain how our process works, how our system works, you will be able to do a comparison as if it is a payment plan. And I'm going to explain to you the differences between being a travel agent, which we are not, but how our subscription service that accesses that cheaper travel, how that works in relation to that. You might think it's not the right time, but everyone online is traveling. When you're going through your timeline, when you're looking on your social media, you will see at least one or two people that are either planning or they are looking to go or they are already away on holiday. There's two people on this call that have been literally just a week or so ago. I want you to see the system shift when I share this information with you. I want you to realize some really important things about the industry. And when you're told the full truth, having, as I've said, that awareness is going to be a game changer for you. I want you to question things that you see in the travel industry, even beyond tonight. Is this actually expensive or is this just what you're being shown? Because we know a better way. I want you to look at learning the system. You won't be able to do that just this evening, but I want you to go on a journey with us and understand how pricing platforms and access really work because we have those secrets. And when you realize all of this, you'll start to move differently. You'll start to use what you know and start traveling smarter, saving your money in your own pocket, and also creating opportunity wherever you go. So, as I mentioned, we've been around for a long time. So, we're celebrating 14 years this year. These are David and Adela Hart are the founders of our company, and they're based in Temecula, California. They have a really strong ethos about their family. They've got quite a large family. They realized a long time ago that travel seemed to be reserved only for the rich. And they wanted to make a change around that. And that's when they developed this travel club. And we're going to explain in a moment more about how that works. But what you can do is compare it to the Netflix of travel. So you pay Netflix a subscription. I mean, we live in a subscription society these days. There's even an app that you can go on that can tell you all the subscriptions you're paying for that you're not even using. The Netflix of travel, we do that comparison quite often, but it's better than that because you're not getting a movie. You're getting a real live location that you can actually access whenever you choose to. And it's all over the world. There's no restrictions at all. These are the things that you have access to with our membership. Resorts, hotels, cruises, car rental, everything. The activities that you might want to be doing, the scuba diving that you might want to be doing, the trips around the city, the food talks and food walks and things like that. All of that you get discounted through our membership. There's three main areas that we talk about tonight. These are not the only parts of our membership, but they are the main ones and the main ones that actually draw people in to start using our membership because they're so powerful. We have a wholesale search engine. So we have a search engine that's designed exactly like the search engines out there, like Booking.com, On the Beach, all the other ones. But it's designed in a specific way to bring back prices that do not have commission added to them. Like I said, we're not travel agents. We don't add commission to any of our prices because we don't do your bookings for you. They're done independently. But we've got a search engine that completely bypasses everyone else out there and gives you the basic price. The second and third aspects of our membership are very closely related to our subscription. So when you pay a monthly subscription to access these services, that subscription is turned into the equivalent of travel points. Now, those travel points can be redeemed on the getaways or the world tours within your membership. When you redeem those points, that buys down the price that you would pay initially for that trip. And you're gonna be blown away by some of the prices that you're going to see tonight. But we're going to talk first about the wholesale search engine. 95% of online search engines are owned by just two companies. I bet you didn't know that. And it is a secret that they keep really well. So when you're doing comparisons and you've got two or three tabs up on your search engine and you're looking at three different websites at the same hotel, the same beds, the same, everything is absolutely the same. The likelihood of all three of them being owned by the same company is really high because there's only two companies that own 95% of those search engines. Now, that for me is a red flag because that to me tells me that the industry is not being completely open and honest about the prices. And I don't like that. And David and Adela Hart don't like that either. And that's why we've got this company to rely on to get us the basic price. This is an example of one of the searches on Booking.com compared to ours underneath it. Look at that saving. That's how much commission that they add to the booking. We get it for that price that you can see at the bottom. They charge you an extra £2,593 for a stay in Portugal for a family of four. That's how much commission we're talking about. And that is quite average. I've seen much more than that being added to each of those prices. Now, We are completely independent of these search engines. We've got our own search engine with the capacity to bring you back prices that are at the basic level. Now, remember, they're not basic hotels or resorts, far from it. They're everything else that you can get on booking.com, but we don't add that commission because we've not got overheads. We don't have to pay celebrities to go and endorse our business. We do everything word of mouth. We would rather give you the money back so that you can go on another trip in the next 6 months. So that's our wholesale booking engine. Next, we talked about getaways and world tours. So we're going to focus on getaways now. Remember, getaways and world tours will use the subscription that you pay that's turned into travel points for you to buy down your trip. So these are the prices for some examples of our getaways, and there are thousands upon thousands of choices that you can make all over the world for getaways and world tours. But these are just three examples that I've found. So this is for a family of four. They're all for family of four, Canary Islands. The retail rate for a studio at this particular location is £800. As a member, you will only pay £6. Because you've had that ongoing membership and because you've got that subscription running, you get the exclusive access to this price. It does say underneath there plus tax. I know for sure that the tax for this property, and all three of these actually, is around 54 to £60, not each for the whole lot of for all four of you. So you can add that onto it, but still £54 plus six, that's 60 quid for you to go and stay in a studio for a week in the Canaries. It's not too bad, is it? Cabo San Lucas looks absolutely beautiful. £119. So you may be able to add around £60 to that. Still nowhere near the retail rate of 1,043. Two-bedroom suite in Orlando going to Disney, for example. Member rate is 114. This is for a family of four. That is unheard of in Kissimmee in Orlando. Plus your tax, maybe add on £60 to that. That's nowhere near the retail rate, and no travel agent in the land will ever find you a price like that. Now, I've put a hashtag down at the bottom there. We are not a timeshare, and we're absolutely not a timeshare. Timeshare is not something that we endorse at all. There's no contract with us. I know for a fact that with timeshares that you can get tied into lengthy contracts. You're more or less paying a mortgage and additional fees on top of that each month. We are not about that. And we've actually had people that have left timeshares. It's been very difficult for them to do, but they have, and they've come to us instead. We're not a timeshare. So just to be clear about that. What I do want to talk to you about as well is this is an example of the getaways, but also I was talking about the travel agency and the comparison with that. I'm going to talk to you about that in a second when I show you these. This is one of our getaways, an example. This is for a two-bedroom lodge, and this is Pine Lake. I've actually been on this trip as well myself last year. You're going to save £452 on that trip. It was for 4 nights, and it was for 2 bedrooms and a sofa bed, so 6 people for £253. 6 people for 4 nights. I know people that have lodges here and they pay an absolute fortune. We don't need to do that, and yet this is a place that always comes up regularly. As I said, there's thousands to choose from. Anyway, it's just near the lakes if anyone knows Carnforth. But it's amazing. Whenever I take the kids, I remember after lockdown, it was one of the first places that I traveled to with my children. And my eldest son said to me, it's the best holiday that he's ever had. And that was a very special moment. Now, World Tours, remember, those subscription points that you pay, that subscription you're paying each month turns into points that you can redeem on trips all across the world. And world tours are also part of that. So you have your getaways and your world tours. So world tours are exactly the same in the way that you book it and the way you redeem your points, but the way that they are planned for is slightly different. So these trips are all pre-planned at least a year in advance. They're prepaid for, and they are basically to allow you to go and meet other people that are part of our award-winning community all over the world if you choose to, or you can just take advantage of the incredible rates. Something that travel agents do, we're not travel agents, but we might as well steal their ideas. They do fam trips and they call familiarization trips. Can't say that word. And this is similar in a similar vein to that. It's to allow you to go and experience places all across the world and actually go and share your story and how you enjoyed it and whether you'd recommend it and things like that. Because we're all in the business of sharing, and we do share our travel club with people as often as we can. So, Dominican Republic, 5 days, all inclusive, family friendly, amenities, you can read it all there. Member rate for that is £375. We've got Dubai, might not be somewhere you want to travel to right now, but when you do, eventually, it's £112 for 7 days in a 4-star hotel, prime location. Now, New York is a really special one for me. I went there for my 21st birthday. Haven't been back since, but I want to go. £345 for 5 days in a 5-star resort. Now, these trips are usually for either 2 or 3 people. Sometimes we have the capacity to add an extra room. So if you've got a bigger family, occasionally that's something that can be done. If that doesn't show as an extra room availability, sometimes you can add guests to the trip. You would still get better rates for those additional guests than you would get through any other booking engine or a travel agent because you're a member of our club and that's the exclusivity that we have. Now, this is a trip that we took. You can see some familiar faces there. We went to Crete in Greece, all inclusive, absolutely beautiful 5-star resort. It was stunning. £74 it cost for 5 days. This was for 3 people. So I've got 4 children. I've got 2 boys and 2 girls, and I'm a solo mum. And what I decided to do this particular year, it's a couple of years ago now, I took my boys away to Malaga and I took my girls away to Greece. I took my girls to this. And my eldest daughter, who's now 17, she was looking at the perfume on the flight over. And it was funny because in the book it was £74 for this bottle of perfume. And I said, you know what? It's costing us to it's cost that to stay in Greece. And her mind was blown. We saved £839 on this trip, and it was for 3 people. So the prices you see when I'm sharing them, it's for the whole party. It's not individually. So you can see how impactful that is. And that's just one example. Another example is the picture that you saw at the very beginning. That's from Prague. You can see some familiar faces again. On this particular trip, we saved £888 because what happens with our wonderful, wonderful CEO, he decides occasionally that he's going to do a flash sale. So not only are we getting absolute bargain prices for 5-star luxury, he decides that he'll just let us have some at absolutely obscene amounts of money. This was $1. Cost $1 to go to Prague for 5 days, 4 nights, breakfast included, central location. And if you can see down here, you can see that it shows you the points, those points that are accumulating when you pay your subscription. Those are the points that are applying to the trip so that you can take that trip at that low cost. Now, if you want to take a couple of trips, what you can do is use that. It won't work on here because it's just a screenshot, but you can actually reduce that, use half the points. You might pay a little bit more than $1, but you've then got points that you can redeem elsewhere. These points are also redeemable up to 2 years. So you've got 2 years to decide where you want to spend these points as well. Now, what would you pay for access to these services? I'm going to tell you exactly how much in a moment. What I want you to think about, though, is at the beginning we talked about that conditioning. You're meant to go to a travel agent. You're meant to pay a deposit. You're meant to pay in installments for your trip, and then you're meant to pay your balance. We do a very similar thing, but with a twist. So you're meant to pay an enrollment fee so we can get your website up and running so that you get access to all these trips so that you can then go and book your trips. You then pay a monthly fee, which is your subscription, which is just like paying your travel agent that monthly charge for paying for your holiday. You're paying it off. It's a very similar thing. You've then got an amount to pay at the end. So you'll pay your balance to your travel agent, which is usually quite a lot. Our balance, you've seen some of the prices, £6 for a week in the Canaries, $1 for 5 days in Prague. £74 is your balance for 3 people to go to Greece all inclusive. That's your balance that you pay. So then, if you're booking through a travel agent, then you want another trip. Say you go away twice every 6 months, you want another trip, you got to pay that deposit again. Then you start those payments every month, and then you pay that balance. With us, you've already got those payments banked up each time you pay them. We don't ask you to pay another enrollment fee. It's ongoing for forever if you choose it to be, for however long you want to use the membership. You never ever have to pay that upfront cost. So you've got this in the background running during the winter when you might not be traveling, but then during the summer you can reap those rewards. And how much does it cost for these services? Our silver membership, it doesn't include the points that I'm talking about, which is literally the piece de resistance with our membership, but it doesn't include that. So the silver membership is there really for people that are looking at doing maybe business travel. Maybe they go away for a few evenings in the week occasionally. It might be good for people that do that. Or you want to go for a couple of weekends away in the UK or something like that. Gives you access to the wholesale search engine, that one that I mentioned at the beginning. So it gives you that only. It doesn't bank any travel points. That's a one-off payment of $69.95 and then $52.50 each month. And it can give you the UK conversion rates at the end if you want them. So that's the silver membership. Next, we've got the titanium membership that gives you the search engine as well. So it gives you everything that we've just talked about with the search engine that the silver membership has. But it also starts to bring those points into play, which is where the gold is, or the titanium. You get 150 travel points every time you pay your subscription for this one. It's $149.95 up front and then $75 monthly. Those 150 travel points are accumulated each month. The only difference between this and our premium product, which is the platinum membership, is the amount of discount you get. So with the titanium, you get everything that we've talked about tonight. There's nothing else you need to do other than get a membership, but you get up to 50% off the retail price that we show. So it's not quite the highest. All the prices that I've shared to you tonight are all from a platinum membership because it is the most cost-effective way of going about it. It is our best seller as well. So I'm going to show you, oh, I've gone too far. Our platinum membership. So $135 each month, a one-off fee of $269.95. It gives you 270 travel points per month and up to 80% off. Now, you can see the difference in those points really means you level up much quicker. You're getting discounts that are higher than anything else that we've got. Again, you don't need to do anything else other than get your membership. Gives you access to everything that I've shared with you tonight. What you can do is get your membership for free, and this is a really powerful thing that we have. If you want to do that, then you'll want to do the partnership as well. And that's a $99 fee on top of what we've just mentioned, but you only pay that annually. So it's once a year that is paid. That gives you the website back office, it enables you to actually introduce other people and make referrals if that's what you choose to do, and build a business from it. All of us on here right now are building a business from travel using this approach, and it's working really, really well. When you do start to refer people, if you choose to, and again, it's optional, you don't have to, you can just get your membership and run and, well, fly and go to lots of beautiful places. That's absolutely fine. There's no hidden requirement at all. You've got that because that's the service that you're paying for. But if you do want to start referring people, you refer 3 people that are on the same membership as you. You then start earning a daily income from the business, from the company. That daily income adds up to the amount that your membership is worth, whatever membership level you're on. If they're on the same one, your membership will be paid for. I think I did that, and I did that within the first 2 months. And I've been with the business now for 8 years. So I've only ever paid for 7 years and 10 months of I've only ever paid for 2 months, and I've had 7 years and 10 months free with my membership. And honestly, it feels like free holidays because you're not having to pay it. So I am going to stop sharing. I'm also going to stop the recording. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions and you're watching this on replay, please go back to the person that shared this with you. And I hope to see you on the beaches of the world very soon. Thank you.